you struggling a bit with your public speaking? You are struggling with your public speaking. What's the difference between those two? Well, in the first situation, of course, I asked, and in the second situation, I told. And we're going to look today at the difference between asking and telling your audience and the impact that that has upon them. But first of all, let me say hello. I'm Shola Kaye, public speaking coach and professional speaker based in London. I work with business owners, with people who want to boost their careers with their public speaking and communication, and of course with organisations also around the world. Asking versus telling. Typically people want to be invited rather than forced. And in the same way, if you are trying to pique your audience's interest, quite often if you ask them, it's a nicer way to get them involved than if you tell them what they should be feeling, who they are, what you know about them. And the reason this topic came up is yesterday I was running an online workshop with one of the groups of business owners I work with. I run a course that's called Get Clients with Speaking, and every 3 months or so we have whether a live workshop or live in person or live online. And one of the participants had created a presentation, and she started out the presentation by telling people what their problems were. And she was in particular addressing people who owned properties and struggled with the tenant behaviour. And she was saying, you are suffering from this, you have encountered that, you have been in this situation before. Now that may well be true, but isn't it a nicer way to address people with a question and saying, have you been in this situation before? Have you ever encountered tenants who did XYZ to your property? Has this happened to you in the past? Because it's an invitation for people to get involved. If you are directive and you say to people, this is what's happened to you before, and perhaps it hasn't happened in quite the same way you describe, you're giving people an opportunity to put up barriers between you and between them and to say, no. No, that hasn't happened to me. No, I haven't had a bad tenant before. Versus, have you ever had a bad tenant? Then you're invited to say yes, but you can say no. No problem either way. Which is why I want to share with you that you should be in your presentations asking your audience, inviting them to follow you along with questions rather than telling them. Another example could be that you are talking about yourself and you're telling them about yourself and an encounter that you've had or a story. It might be that you go and climb Mount Everest, okay? So your speech might be, I climbed Mount Everest and gosh, it was really hard and I struggled, but then I overcame and here I am today telling you the story. So you're telling there, but how much more inviting to ask questions of the audience along the way. Have you ever set yourself a challenge that you didn't know that you could complete? Well, that's how I felt when I booked my trip to go to Mount Everest. Have you ever been so exhausted that you didn't think you could take another step? Well, that's how I felt when I was halfway up to the summit and I just thought I couldn't go on. Have you ever experienced this? Has it ever been like that for you? Asking those little questions along the way makes all the difference. It gets your audience involved, it invites them to go on a journey with you, and it stops you from falling into a trap of either telling them how they are or of just telling them about yourself without inviting them to go on that journey with you. So if you're the sort of speaker who uses I, me a lot, or you might use you, but it's you've done this, you've done that, you're in this situation, think about asking and not telling. Think about inviting rather than forcing or pushing people in a particular direction. You'll typically find that you have you form a better bond with the audience, and your results are more positive if you ask and invite rather than tell and push. Hope that helps. Just a simple tip today. Stay in touch. Connect with me on LinkedIn. It's Shola Kaye. Go to sholakaye.com. You'll find some freebies there that you can sign up for. And if you are a business owner interested in growing your business with speaking, why not get in touch? Ask me about my Get Clients with Speaking program, or maybe even invite me to come into your office and give a presentation. That's it from now, or that's it for now, and I'll see you soon. Remember, ask, don't tell. Cheers, bye.